Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.
Hi, welcome to the KVJ After the Show Podcast.
Kevin's eyes look insane, but he's got new hair. Virginia is a witch and she farts in her chair. Jason is a spaz who's got an old man's ass. Welcome to the After the Show Podcast.
Happy Friday! Welcome to the KVJ After the Show Podcast. Yeah. What has been going on, everybody? Yeah.
I just did a show with a witch. That's what's been going on.
I had a moment with the plant lady. So we have like a bunch of live plants here at the office. Mm-hmm. They're all scattered throughout the building, but there's like quite a few back in like the sales area. But we've been working here alone. There's been nobody here in this building for a month, basically. And there's never anybody back there. So when you go around the corner, like there's nobody back there that you run into. Well, the plant lady was back there watering a plant, and I came around the corner, and we both scared the shit out of each other. She jumped, I jumped. I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't expect to see anybody back here. She's like, I didn't expect to see anybody either.
Hey, were you guys 6 feet apart?
No.
What, see, Kevin?
We were about 2 feet apart, and I jumped, and she jumped, and I'm like, I'm so sorry.
Technically, you gotta leave, right?
Yeah.
She's not in her
You're
corner.
right.
According
She's violated it.
Virginia rules.
All right, I'll go right now.
No, you won't. I dare you. Well, that's what I mean when I say sometimes shit just happens and you're involved.
Well, that's why I'm telling you.
Yeah, I mean,
She gave us disclosure like you're supposed to, right?
Yeah, I came about 2 feet from running right into the plant lady, and bless her heart, I scared the crap out of her. I'm going to be fine. I think she's still probably shaking. I come around the corner hard.
Did she
I walk
soil
fast.
her pants?
I walk.
Kevin.
That is good. Well, a lot of people asking this question, like Noel said, so thrilled to hear Kev's announcement just now about the show being extended to 11 a.m. starting on Monday, but please answer the question that's on everybody's mind. Please tell us this doesn't mean the ATS is going away. We know it's extra time, but we need the ATS. Love you guys, and I'm hopping over to the ATS right now. Here's what we're going to do. Basically how things are going to look, because I know there's a lot of questions ever since I said that. I kind of snuck that in there, and then we just disappeared, and people are like, wait, what's going on?
What? What'd you say?
Somebody said, just heard Kevin's message about staying on till 11 a.m. on Monday. That's great, but we'll be starting an hour later at 7 a.m. So let me let you know what's going on. No, everything else pretty much is going to be the same. It's not going to be really any change. We'll be here at 6 a.m. Show's going to be starting live. You'll hear us fresh and frisky right at that time.
So frisky.
Yeah, and so Monday will be the same with that. The only thing that will be a slight adjustment, there still will be an After the Show podcast. In fact, I believe today's the first day that we put it up on Facebook live, and we're going to make that adjustment as well. And so, we're doing a couple other things. We're getting fantastic numbers over on the KVJ Show Facebook page, and we wanted to reward that audience too with some live content. And we get a lot of chat that is going on over there. We want to try to bring in as many KVJ Nation as possible.
They respond a lot too. They like and share, and that helps out a lot. Sometimes when YouTube gets, the people in the chat room right now do a great job responding and all that. But when the video gets uploaded, a lot of the interaction just dies. There's no comments on YouTube. There's no likes really. And it just looks better on Facebook with the numbers.
Interesting.
Yeah. So for the first time ever, we're doing right now. We are live up on Facebook where people can check out the After the Show podcast. And so that was going to happen on Monday, and Suits was able to crack the code a day early, and so we're up on both right now. And we figured, okay, what we'll do is we'll just make a little bit of a switcheroo. We'll do the After the Show podcast, but it will start at 11 a.m., at least for the foreseeable future. I don't know what the future holds, but nobody does. But at least for the foreseeable future, starting on Monday, the After the Show podcast will start live at 11 a.m. if you're a person that needs it live, but you'll be able to get it on demand still, of course.
The only thing about the future you know is that you know nothing.
That's all I know. That's all I know. So I know we're putting it somewhere else, and things are a little bit different, but we're happy to now welcome in our KVJ Nationers on Facebook.
Oh, yeah. There's going to be a big old Facebook versus YouTube now. Two factions.
That's the two big ones. Yeah, it used to be YouTube versus live stream. Now it's Facebook versus YouTube.
YouTube would talk shit about the live streamers, and live streamers would talk shit about the YouTubers.
Mm-hmm. Dan is already on Facebook. He's wondering, WTF is Jaybird wearing? This is your whole conspired look that came together because you lost another video game challenge last Friday to Denny's.
Drink it in, baby. Drink it in, Dano.
Show them your boobs. These things are nice.
Oh, yeah, they are nice. These are your titties, right?
I brought those back from Mardi Gras a couple of years ago. They're stress balls, but they have a nipple on them, and they really do look like a boob.
They are so fun to play with, and I'm not even trying to be pervy. They feel good. Like, yeah, I'm stressed. Shit.
You should never handle real boobs that way.
No.
But it feels fun to handle these.
I promise. Hamburger hands ain't like that when it comes to titties. I promise.
Show me on Suits.
No. Poor guy. Suits
right?
Suits is always the go-to.
I know.
He's like the lab rat.
He likes it.
He's the one who gets pawed all over. And,
only because he's the newbie.
yeah.
He's the baby.
All that kind of stuff. Yeah, so just kind of like recap, it'll pretty much look like KVJ as usual. We wanted to make sure that it wasn't any kind of like monumental sweeping changes, because I know people like their schedules and routines. And so, like I said, the only slight adjustment is the After the Show podcast will begin at 11 a.m. instead of the 10:15, 10:20, or whatever time we typically usually get it going. So, but it will. We're going to try to right at 11 o'clock. So we'll hopefully be regular. So I know sometimes we get into a sidebar or other whatever conversation.
Oh, yeah.
So with this,
Did you say bar?
that we'll be able to be right on it, and you'll know, okay, it's 11 a.m.
Virginia will bring us some crazy shit right before the podcast, fucking derailing the day.
We got to talk about the big. No, it's got to wait till after we're done.
I brought you a crawfish. You want to eat
11:30.
one?
Ugh,
I
please.
dare your ass to eat a crawfish.
Fuck that. Can we just get to a fun Friday without me licking or snorting or fucking around with something?
And the 11 a.m. thing, I don't know, what that time frame will be on that. I would imagine for the foreseeable future on us being on till at least 11 a.m. And, we'll see. It depends upon what happens with people's work schedules and kids getting back to school and all that kind of stuff. So.
I mean, the only complaint you probably should have is, wow, there's too much KVJ now.
Yeah, do you need another dirt of the day? Let me know. I'm here for you.
Well, I mean, that's part of the discussions. That was one where we hadn't completely filled it in, because right now the dirts are only at 7 and 8.
Oh, fuck.
And so, people are waking up later. Maybe we need to put that dirt back in the 9 again. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to send you at least 15 shitty ideas that we're going to try to block this thing.
Yeah. So, we'll take some suggestions there.
Can we do like a different style of it? Maybe we go, if we're doing a later dirt, are you saying adding a dirt, like a fourth dirt, or keeping it at 3?
It would be, it's right now at 2. Well, 3.
No, we
okay,
have
so
3.
it's 6. Yeah, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so it'd be probably be a fourth dirt. Yeah, because people are waking up late. So because the reason why we stopped doing the 9s, we're like going, all right, people have been up. Like if they care anything at all about entertainment news, they already know by 9 o'clock what the heck is going on for the most part.
Well, for the fourth dirt, too, I can make it a special, like a custom feature where all my stories are only stories that I know will piss off Jaybird.
That's so that every fucking story you already do.
Yes.
Every fourth dirt will have nothing but stuff that'll piss you
Well,
off.
guess what? You went 18 for 18 today, kiddo.
I put a Christopher Cross
You're
story
right,
in for
you're
you.
right.
You
You're right.
motherfucker.
You went 17 for 18 today.
Sit down.
Well, hey, maybe that last dirt would do a little dirt of the J. Last time I made some noise when you were out of town. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many ways you could go with this, Kevin. I mean, it's a cornucopia of ideas coming from over here.
So that's open, and we'll take suggestions. If you guys have any ideas, because we're gonna have to fill a little bit more space now in the typical day. So we're gonna play around with it and see what we can do to fill in that time. Somebody, Evelyn had asked, is there going to be a change to the show? No. I mean, that's it. Like I said, that's the most monumental change, and we figured that was pretty minimal. Just moving the time of the After the Show podcast starting live. So I don't think that that'll be anything too crazy. So there you go. That's pretty much it. And maybe we can ask the question, should we add a dirt at 9 a.m.?
You'll be getting some interaction. You'll be getting some.
Yeah, I will. I'll post that up here when I get a chance.
I'm just kidding. I don't want you to think I'm not trying to hate on your segment. Okay? I'm only doing it to rib you. I could give a shit.
I love ribs.
We'll make it fun. Whatever we do, we'll make it fun.
I agree. And I think the last dirt, just to piss you off, is awesome.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I'm not over here trying to fucking bash your dirt, even though I don't really like
it. Okay, let me see here. Got a nice little text that came in. Our unsung heroes again. Code officers are out there risking their lives, going business to business, enforcing social distancing while being issued little to no protection or supplies. Code officers never get the respect and acknowledgement deserved, but are considered essential personnel during a hurricane or a pandemic. Absolutely. Yeah, that's a good call. That's what my father-in-law does. He's a code officer, code enforcer, goes out to different projects to make sure that everything is doing the up and up. And so, yeah, there's a lot of essential businesses that are out there still cranking through it.
Code officer. Is that kind of like what the BTK was?
What was the BTK?
He was the kind of he would drive around if someone's grass was too long, kind of like HOA stuff, but maybe even higher than that. He had an authority position, but it was one of those kind of positions where, like, dude, slow your roll. I'm talking about the bind, torture, killer.
Yeah, if anybody needed to slow his roll, it was that guy.
Yeah, I thought he did that.
Okay.
I thought you knew that.
I don't know a lot of his, I know he was married.
Way to leave me hanging.
You're the expert
I know.
at
I don't know
murderers.
anything.
I know, I hear you. I just think your face, your confusion made me second guess myself.
Virginia and the 76 Steelers, do you think that...
Kevin, this is not going to go well.
I thought me and you had a conversation about that before, so I'll shut the fuck up.
We could have, but I try to block out a lot of our conversations.
Damn, that's hurtful.
I'm just kidding.
You're doing the hurt of the day.
I'm just kidding.
Hurt of the day. All right, it is live right now. If you want to go and vote about the hurt of the day on Monday, I said we're going to be staying live on 97.9 WRMF till 11 a.m. starting on Monday. Should we add another dirt of the day at 9 a.m.? Yes or a hell no. Those are the two options.
And if you don't vote and you're bitching about it on Monday, just know you got to cast your vote.
This is your chance.
Be heard.
To let us know what you want when we get to it.
This is when I wish I had like 10 fake accounts.
So they're very handy.
You can only vote once.
I hear you. I think you only can vote once.
Mm-hmm. We got an email here from Nicole, too. Nicole T. said, I've been a listener for about 15 years. I'm a surgical technologist at Mount Sinai Medical Center. First, I'd like to thank you all for everything you do. Listen to your show and postcast every day. So many times the show and the antics have made me laugh and brighten my day. I cried on the way to work when Ann Ann passed, as she was one of my favorites. Due to no surgery, they're sending us to the ER to triage patients in our COVID unit.
Oh, my.
I'm glad to work, but it's also scary. I just want to thank you for being on the air during this difficult time. Pray for us. So there is Nicole T right there, sent that photo. You can see she got her mask, her glasses, her face mask, everything else.
Do it, girl. Don't ever forget a single step either. I know you guys have so many steps that you got to do to keep yourself safe, but go slow and protect yourself.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be praying for you.
There you go. All right. Also got an interesting email here from Karen. She had made some graphs and whatnot, just kind of like showing us about the coronavirus spreading. And she said in a normal population, it doubles every 2.5 days. And then if you do some social distancing, it doubles every 10 days. And just kind of talking about where everybody's tone is right now. Should we open things up and start kind of going back out into the world again and doing some work with the economy being so bad, or we need to stay separated? And that seems to be one of the biggest questions. She said, if you really look at all this, you can really start to see on my graph how the lines start to separate. The first line is completely different from the deaths caused by car accidents, heart disease, etc., which do not increase exponentially. It drives me crazy when people compare the beginning of a pandemic with other typical death statistics, which will increase in a linear way, not in an exponential way. And if you're confused like all of us on those two things, you're not alone. But she said the bottom line is that many people, unfortunately, do not understand or appreciate what exponential growth means. Edward Teller, the inventor of the hydrogen bomb, predicted that the extinction of the human race will somehow come about from our inability to comprehend exponential growth. And after the way I've been seeing millions of people misunderstand and misinterpret what is happening right now, I can believe that. So, yeah, I don't think a lot of people fully understand what is going on with this stuff. And I'm one of those dumb people that doesn't get statistics and graphs and numbers and all that stuff. And you just hear all the unemployment issues that are happening on TV and how many small businesses are not going to recover. And you're just like, oh my gosh, okay, I hope we're doing the right thing. My feeble mind can only handle a couple things. I've told you before, my biggest comparison is looking at the Spanish flu comparisons of Cleveland and Philadelphia. You can easily Google that. And Cleveland, they shut it all down, and they had less deaths and a better economy. It recovered better, and they financially did better by doing that. It was painful to deal with, and they dealt with it a longer amount of time, but they did it 100 years later, you could say clearly the right way, where Philadelphia did not. They're like, we want to get back out, and they did. More people died, and it actually was harmful to their economy in Philadelphia, not helpful.
Maybe that's why Philly's so angry. Isn't that the place that threw batteries at
100 years ago, they were the same, yes.
Santa Claus?
They were the same. Yeah, apparently that didn't change. And so, yeah, I also kind of did a little bit of a deeper dive, just trying to understand, with the deaths and how it went up against other killers. Going on the adjusted White House numbers, I looked at that. Because we've been social distancing well, they readjusted positively. And right now it looks like, according to their numbers, COVID would be the sixth biggest killer in the U.S. behind strokes. Heart disease is number one with 647,457 deaths. And the adjusted White House numbers would put it at 144,000 COVID deaths. So tough stuff. But boy, if you look back at other pandemics and things that happened, Jaybird had sent me an email from, back in like the 1700s, because we've been dealing with these kind of diseases. I mean, it's new to our lifetime, but it's not necessarily new to humanity.
Virginia, have you seen the masks the doctors would use back in the day, like in the 1700s when a pandemic broke out?
No.
Oh my gosh, horrifying.
Take a look at it on KVJ TV.
That's your voice of comfort. That's who's there to help you.
Oh my gosh. Why does it look like the Grim Reaper?
Yeah, it was. They're terrifying stuff here. In fact, you could wear it as a Halloween costume now.
You could scare every kid in the neighborhood with that.
Every kid. Every grown man.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it has, for people that are not getting the visual, I'll put that up there. But yeah, they're saying, basically with the long cloak and the grotesque bird-like mask, that's what it was. The European plague doctor was a disconcerting sight. Physicians completed the look with a wide-brimmed hat, long coat, and wooden cane, which enabled them to examine patients without getting too close.
Hey kids, the doctor's here.
Yeah. The eccentric headpiece served as a kind of primitive gas mask for medical practitioners in 17th century Europe, designed to protect its wearer from the foul odors associated with the plague. Because I think like flesh was rotting on people.
Oh my!
I mean, if you think COVID is alarming, just imagine you're smelling people rotting in their beds. And so they were dealing with that with the plague then. The hooked snout contained substances including lavender and a vinegar sponge and some other things that were in there. They thought that would ward off the pestilence in the bad air. So that's why they had that long beak. There were things in there that they were breathing in that they thought was going to be better than the disease in the air. While the protective clothing is well documented in images of the plague from the 17th century onwards, particularly in Italy, it was not necessarily a fixture of medical persons in London. So that is pretty terrifying.
Very.
Just to look at that. So luckily our medical doctor's not wearing that.
And our mask system's a little better now.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
People on Facebook are tuning in for the first time. They go, so you guys are swearing? What's going on here? They're not used to the...
Oh, that's right. We're on Facebook.
Yeah. Just keep that in mind, Virginia. We're on Facebook.
I just remembered.
She has a theory about Facebook.
What is your theory about Facebook?
More people she knows in her personal life going to see shit she don't want them to see.
Yeah, my dad, my mom.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot. Yeah, I do have other people.
I put more of the scandalous stuff on platforms that I know that my parents specifically don't go on.
I mean, YouTube's so lawless. Facebook is a little bit more... I don't know.
Facebook is more buttoned up.
You felt a little bit more hidden on YouTube, and I think that's the reason why we're going to Facebook, is because we were kind of hidden. We're like, wait a minute, we're supposed to get more numbers, not hide. Yeah, that actually benefits us to have more viewers
oh my God,
and listeners.
We're just figuring this thing out.
Yeah, 20 years later, we're like, that would make a little bit more sense.
Yeah, go where the people are.
But yeah, we do swear on here.
We need to watch it.
See, now that's going to get people mad because now we're changing, right, Kev?
But Facebook, like...
What are your thoughts, Kev?
I do what I'm going to do. Do what you're going to do, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, why don't you
Say
worry
what you
about
need to say.
Your outfit's way more offensive than anything I would say.
Oh, you shut the fuck up then. Sorry, Facebook.
Let me see. Got an email here for Virginia. I immediately thought of her when I saw this on Facebook. There you go. See, Facebook. I'm sure that she can relate to this meme. It says, home isolation has its ups and downs. One day you're flying high and cleaning the baseboards with a Q-tip, and the next day you're drinking tequila and watching squirrels out the window. There's no in between.
Yeah, girl, we get it. We're in it together. Today is going to be a deep clean at my house. You talk about cleaning the baseboards with a Q-tip. My house looks like a bomb went off on it, and these kids are going to be whipped into a little bit of shape later today. They're going to have to clean up the messes they've been making.
I was going to do a deep clean today, too. Friday's usually when I do a deep clean. My mom would always say that term. We're doing a deep clean. Deep clean today, kids.
It needs it. I mean, these terrorists are just running amok in the house.
Would you say that you are that way where you are having both sides? Because that sounds like what, basically that email is about, is that, either one day you've got it completely together and you're productive, or the other day you're just useless and half drunk.
Yeah, I think everybody's there, Some days you can pull it together and you realize, I've got to clean this house. And then some days you're like, I've got to drink that tequila.
Okay. See, tequila, Mama, I'm usually by myself. Drinking tequila by yourself, what am I going to do? Just start humping the wall?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm going to do beer tonight on the KVJ happy hour.
Okay, what time is it right now? 10:37 a.m. We'll see about that, old witchy woman. We'll see about that.
Why? What you got? What's your plan?
I'm just saying, you make these bold statements far from the finish line.
I'm planning. If I say it, then I'll be accountable for it.
Don't make so many big statements.
Don't talk? All right.
This email says, hey, I have a bit reminder for you guys. Hoping you could do it sometime this year. It was the spouse show that you're going to do with the Queen, Panda, and Jen. A little behind-the-scenes look to being married to members of the KVJ show. I have my questions already. I know it might kind of be tough with the coronavirus, but I think it would be a great show. I think you guys should replace stories from a stoner with stories from the Queen, and it's stories about her grandma, Maybe her dad can come in and tell some stories too.
Oh my gosh, her dad is actually interesting. I would like to hear him talking about his mom. I would be down for that.
Yeah, now's the time where I could host the thing on Zoom where you and the Queen are there, you and Panda are there, and then Denny's and Jen are there. We've been talking about that.
Yeah.
Now's the time to actually do it.
I think that I shouldn't be in the room, though. If you want to get the best out of Panda, it's better if he's not looking at me.
What we could do is you guys get out of the room, I interview them separately, then you guys can come in the room after.
Yeah.
And then talk. But
oddly enough, I think it would be better if I'm in the room because I think just my presence, she'll look at me and then I'm like her muse.
Yeah,
trust me, she doesn't have a governor when it comes to saying things to my face. So I think she actually would open up more looking at me because I think it would just see the anger in her and she'd be like, okay, now I've got more to say.
Whatever you want to do, whatever's going to get y'all to do it, I am so game. Make it priority one. This would be very easy to set up.
Okay.
Can we do it on Zoom or would we have to come in here?
Totally do it on Zoom.
All right.
It'd be easier to do it on Zoom.
Yeah.
That could be fun. Yeah, maybe we can figure out a date and time that works for everybody on that.
Panda is working from home, but, he's not slammed busy. So.
No, I've already been working on my questions for this. I mean, I am so ready for that podcast.
Yeah, maybe one day next week we can do that in the early evening. She also said we definitely need another episode of The Witch and the Bitch. That shit was hilarious.
Look, anytime you want to come over.
Says, I think the reason why I like the ATS podcast and The Witch and the Bitch so much is because I feel like I'm in the room listening to you guys just shoot the shit. You guys sound way more laid back. I'll be patiently waiting till the day comes when you can make the whole show like the ATS podcast. Yes, we've said that. Maybe one day if we can get the money right on it. That'd be fun.
Yeah, people who are confused a little bit on Facebook. Yes, this is live right now.
Yes.
We are live.
Yeah.
We're live.
But then when you go back to watch it later, it's not.
It's not, but you can still comment and interact and do all that fun stuff.
Yeah. So just so you know, this is pretty much going to be the thing, no matter what platform you're on. Facebook and YouTube, weekday mornings at 11 a.m. You'll have the After the Show podcast. We'll be on there live and seeing people in the chat rooms, and you can get more interactive with the shows that's going on.
Just to let you know, Facebook, YouTube is talking a gang of shit about y'all. No, I'm just kidding.
You're starting a war.
No, I'm just
a fake war.
Exactly. I'm totally messing around, y'all.
Got kind of a little fill-in here. I'm excited for this conversation here in a second. I'd read this starting off the regular show earlier from Doug. Said, I heard you guys talking about the show Operation Odessa on Netflix. So I decided to give it a try since I love all the cocaine shows like Kevin does. In the first 10 minutes of the show, they were talking about how Vanilla Ice introduces the Russian mobster to the Colombian businessman in Miami. This is going to be a good show. Love you guys. You keep me and my wife laughing every single day. We never miss a minute of the show. What it's about is it is about this Russian dude who he moves to Brooklyn as a teenager. He becomes an enforcer in the Gambino crime family. Basically, he would commit arson on their behalf. So that's what they would do whenever somebody didn't pay up or whatever. They would go torch their place. So that was kind of what he did.
Okay.
Then his partner, who he worked with all the time, showed up dead. And he's like, I need out of this. So he moves to Miami. Not sure if it was money that he had or if it was seed money from mob money. But he opens up a strip club called Porky's.
Sounds fun.
And it was named after the dirty, raunchy movie from the 80s called Porky's because he loved the movie. It was his favorite movie. And so all these mobsters start going to his bar because you think, he's Russian and he's got Italian mafia family ties there. So basically Russian and Italian mob are all over this Porky's.
Okay.
And then he opens up another restaurant called Babushka's. And then, of course, cocaine cartel people start coming in because this is right in the era of all that stuff. Cocaine cowboys. And this is where they would go hang out as Porky's. And then it was interesting because he would talk about, Vanilla Ice was at this marina. Fort Apache was the name of the marina, and everybody who's a celebrity at that time, from Vanilla Ice to the Estefans to the Iglesiases, the cast of Miami Vice, they all had their speedboats there, but so did the cartel. The cartel would bring these cigarette boats. And in the thing, they talk about how these cigarette boats would have jet engines on them. Like you would hear, and you would look up in the air because you thought a plane was going overhead, and it was actually the boat.
Wow.
Because that was the kind of engine it had in it, because nobody could catch them. So they're running cocaine like all over the place. And this time period, I remember Vanilla Ice talking about, being on a couple of boats, and you would get in at one time, and you'd be going, this thing is like really slowed down. Well, it was loaded with cocaine.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you never really knew. So then I got this text that said, you guys were talking about that show this morning with Tarzan. I actually met the guy a couple of years before I went to prison. I was actually in the game for trafficking, and I met him a couple times. So we've got an alias here because... yeah, there are some things that you kind of wonder how many of these guys still might be around.
Okay, so, sir, we don't have a voice disguiser, so just talk like this the whole time.
He's coming on as anonymous, but he was going to talk to us about this stuff and about Tarzan. Denny's had told me when he had talked to you that apparently this guy Tarzan, they said he looked like when they show him, he does a lot of the interviews in this Operation Odessa. And, the photos are like going that people liken him to a big Russian bear.
Okay.
Just a big, vibrant, kind of larger than life kind of guy. What was your interactions with Tarzan when you met him and under what circumstances?
Well, I hung out with a lot of those guys because of my past.
Mm-hmm.
So a couple of times, we would go up to Porky's, which was a big hangout for the underworld, let's just put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, a couple of times. He was an awesome guy, but don't ever how do I put it? Don't let the teddy bear look and all that fool you, because he was very, very dangerous. And anything you do in that kind of situation, or what you're doing, it's dangerous. Period. But yeah.
Yeah, he had talked about. Yeah, Tarzan talked about in the documentary. This guy, he always had two guns on him at any given time. He had. One on his pant leg, and then he had his Beretta like tucked behind his back. So yeah, it was violent stuff, and there were a lot of people that were getting gunned down in Miami in this era, and you can imagine with all the cocaine and everything else going on. In fact, they even said that Tarzan was the guy that you talked to if you wanted hookers, if you wanted blow, if you wanted somebody killed.
Wow.
Yeah, you pretty much you can, but he didn't. He was the type of guy that if you weren't in that world and you weren't a certain level in that world, he really didn't have much to do with you. He will not say much. He will not offer you anything, and he will not get you.
Okay.
That's the kind of level you're in that world. And if you're around that kind of person, that you're somebody, and might not be as big, might not be small, but you're somebody if you're right there with them and talking with them. You're, somebody that he will chat with and will help you out and the underworld.
Mr. Anonymous, I just have a quick question. By us just talking to you, have we put ourselves in danger or jeopardy?
No, not at all. I actually was in prison for 5 years. I have a brother that just got out from doing 13 years. And literally, he just got out recently. And I've been out of the game maybe over 14 years now. I lost a lot. There's two things about this game. Yeah, there's how you put it. There's where you win. Yeah, there's lovely things, the benefits and the money, but you do ruin people's life and your own and family's life.
Yeah.
To this day, I still don't even talk to my kids. I went to prison, and I haven't spoken to my kids since I got out of prison.
Wow.
So,
yeah, that's it. I mean, you look at these shows with that, kind of morbid fascination. But yeah, the tales are usually not really good on what happens on the other side of it.
It never turns out, I've been shot twice. It doesn't turn out good at any way, any form. You're either dead, go to prison, you lose everything. That's definitely, some people get lucky and put a little very money, let's just put it. And some don't, Like I said, when I got out, it was a game that I had to start all over again because I was in it since I was 15.
Wow.
So,
yeah.
And that's how I moved up levels in the game It's not like you just come in and you're going to meet this guy and you're going to be this big guy. No, it doesn't work that way.
When you were in it, did you ever go to any of the clubs that Tarzan had, or were you aware of this Fort Apache, the marina where all the celebrities had? Did you see any celebrities ever up in this game?
Oh, yeah. I'm not going to mention the name. Yes. A lot of them, let's put it this way, they love their cocaine.
I bet.
If just sniff twice if you ever had a moment with Pablo Escobar.
No, never.
Okay.
No sniffing necessary.
Yeah.
I was trying to do it like in code.
You don't have to give any code. I mean, like I said, I'm not going to give you my name, but, I've been out of it so long. Do I know people still? Yes. Do I associate with them? I say hi and bye.
But you said you did see a lot of celebrities in that era at that place.
Oh, yeah. A lot of actors, a lot of, rock stars and singers. Oh, yeah. I met a few, and I actually had a few that used to buy from me.
And my question is, and they were hanging with these known mob guys? Did they know? Because that seems like a dangerous world if you're that high profile of a celebrity.
Oh, yeah. Most of them would do it privately, in a private homes, or they would come over to certain houses, mansions, and on South Beach and all that, and keep it minimum. But they weren't like out and about with these people at all.
Wow. Okay, it's some fascinating stuff, and have you seen the whole show yet?
Yes. I watched it a couple of years ago, actually.
Yeah, it came out 2 years ago. It was originally on Showtime. Would you say that it's accurate what you see?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I sit there with my wife that I'm married to now. I've been married 10 years, and every day she's fascinated with some of the stories I tell her. She's from Iowa, real quiet.
Yeah, right.
Girl. So every little thing I tell her, and she's like shocked. Some of the stuff I've done, some of the people I've met, it amazes her every day.
Wow. Well, if you ever feel like getting more honest and naming names, you know where to come, okay?
That's not going to happen. I rather, I live a comfortable life these days, and I want to keep it that way.
I hear you. No, it's good. Well, thanks for coming on and talking to us. I appreciate it.
No problem. Anytime, guys. I love you guys, man. You're all the best. I listen to you guys every morning.
Oh,
that's awesome.
We love you too. Stay safe.
Yeah, no doubt.
Jason too, man. I love Jason, man. You're a goofball.
Thank you, man. No one's ever called me that before.
She wears it well.
Yeah, there you go. Wow, crazy stuff. Yeah, I'm very fascinated by it. Well, this is a fitting email as I just killed a sugar ant. Dr. Astrid said that I heard Denny talk about his ant problem this morning. I wanted to pass on some info. As a person who does not like to use chemicals in my home, I learned that vinegar is something you can use to deter ants. Simply make a water/vinegar solution and clean the area affected with it every couple of days, and they will stay away, and it's a natural antibacterial cleaner.
Yeah, does ants have a season? Because I feel like squirrels... They're humping more together, so I feel like it's squirrel season right now.
Maybe the ants are humping too.
Well, I feel like everything's humping right now. It's
everything but you.
And Kevin.
Yes.
Kevin.
I don't have a season either.
But Kevin was living that quarantine life before quarantine life was a thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
You've been having no sex COVID style for a while.
Nothing new. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but is there an ant season? Or is that a dumb question?
It's kind of a dumb question, but it's kind of an interesting question, too.
Dumb and interesting.
Yeah.
All right, I'll take it.
I think ants maybe hump like the rest of the animals.
Well, just think about most creatures. Don't they have, like, their time to shine?
I
feel like ants are always at it.
Adamant or just constant?
I don't know. I'm not an entomologist, but I feel like that would be it. They're just always doing it.
Good enough for me. I believe it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Keith had said, what was the name of that show they were talking about? It's Operation Odessa. It is right now on Netflix. I hadn't seen it pop up on anything. Somebody let me know about it. Said, this sounds like your kind of show.
Yeah, it does.
It's a 90-minute documentary. That's what you get. It's a fascinating tale. I'm not ruining it by telling you this, where they have a deal that involves the high Colombian cartels to get them a Russian submarine for $35 million. Wow. And I won't tell you what happens with that deal because that does make the exciting part of the back end of it. But
okay.
Yeah, that's what it is. If you like those kind of things, Operation Odessa on Netflix. You can check it out. Happy that I could amuse Jess. She sent in an email and said, yeah, I know this may not seem like much to many, but to me this meant everything in the world. I was laid off work like many, but to see Kevin Ralston follow me on Twitter made my day. Thanks, KVJ, for always being awesome. There you go. Kevin Ralston followed you. I try to follow pretty much everybody. So if you do that, and KVJ Show as well, we follow pretty much everybody. So if you want to go check us out on Twitter, you can find, if you go to KVJ Show on our Twitter there, you can find everybody else's private handles. And you can just go on and follow along, and a lot of us follow back. So
Sweet.
There you go. Also, wanted to say very nice to Tatiana from Jupiter. You sent a very nice email. Thank you so much. In fact, she said, Kev, we watched Operation Odessa, and holy crap, it's unbelievable. Forget Tiger King. Watch that instead. What I learned from watching both was this. I can buy a tiger, but I can't buy a submarine. Yeah, so that's impressive stuff. So she did that, had nice things to say about everybody here on the show. Jaybird, keep making your videos. They're funny. Virginia, thank you for the crawfish. Woohoo, they're so good. So.
Oh, that's Miss Tatiana, Rocco's babysitter.
Oh, okay, very nice.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I know her.
Cutie.
Mm-hmm.
I left the crawfish at the end of the driveway last night, and yeah, my house looked like a drive-through. People were driving through, picking up bags of crawfish, waving
Okay.
from a distance.
From a distance, this song depresses me.
Might not be the pick-me-up tune we all need right now.
No. They used to play that song on the radio a lot, and it was one of those like 5-minute songs. Like, oh, it's over. Thank God. God is watching us. Like, I thought it was over.
And Vanessa said, so I'm watching this. Who is cleaning up your mess, the papers you're throwing on the floor, Kevin? Typically I do, but I just got to get them out of the way when I'm done so I don't get confused.
We make Reek do it. Suits, get in here.
Yeah.
Get in here.
Take off your pants first.
Pick up Kevin's papers.
Yes. That's what we do. So there you go. So thank you very much. It's nice to see a lot of the people on Facebook that have jumped in there, because I know they're like going, oh my gosh, haven't listened to you guys for a month or haven't checked out. So yeah, you know what? Hey, I know you guys are doing your thing, so we're going to come to you by having the KVJ show go live on WRMF until 11 a.m., still starting at 6. And then you'll see our podcast done live on Facebook and YouTube now starting at 11 a.m. after the show.
I'm not trying to start a social media war between YouTube and Facebook here, but I'm just saying YouTube, Facebook, 101 likes already. YouTube only 20. Just saying.
There you go.
Just
That's
saying.
the numbers. That's the numbers.
Dang, that's big.
It is.
Big. It fucking tripled it. No, it's even more than triple.
Weren't you going to try to not curse as much on Facebook?
No, I never said that. You said that. Kevin said I could be old bird.
Old bird.
ODB, old dirty
Oh,
bird.
don't worry.
Dirty bird.
I'll get some new complaints today. Don't worry.
You look like Madonna from the Vogue video, and a gay biker had a kid.
All right.
Live on Facebook again today at 5 o'clock for our virtual cocktail hour. You guys grab a cocktail or whatever you want, appetizer, regular drink, and then we'll see you there 5 p.m. on Facebook. You guys have a good one. Go check out Bud's Chicken and Seafood. Always, they are bringing to you some great food, 6 locations in Palm Beach County to enjoy this weekend. We'll see you later.
Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.